just move. Oh, hello. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm not going to distract you from the drinking for very long. I'm Henry Hill, Deputy Editor of Conservative Home. It's my great pleasure first to congratulate you for making it all the way through what has been a trying Tory conference, at least for some of us, and to welcome you here this evening. It is a pleasure to be just briefly introducing our panel here tonight, working in partnership with the YMCA. I happen to have seen the YMCA's Young Britannia pamphlet last year and was so impressed by it that I wrote an entire article on the subject. So I'm very pleased to see that the branding is back. It is a hugely important subject. Those of you who've seen my writing will know that I feel it's incredibly important, despite the fact that the Conservative Party, even because the Conservative Party is so dependent on older voters, and the needs of older voters are going to become ever more salient in the years ahead, it is vitally important the Conservative Party focuses on how to make sure that young people get a fair deal, the ability to get the skills they need for good jobs, to get secure housing, to have the opportunity to form families. So no one's ever here for the chair. So without further ado, it's my great pleasure to introduce Jason from the YMCA, who's going to tell you a little bit more about what they're about. Jason.
Thank you, and my name is Jason Stacy. I'm the Director of Policy Comms and International at YMCA England and Wales. Minister, ladies and gentlemen, firstly I just want to thank you for coming to the reception this evening and staying. I know normally when speeches start, it starts a little parade of people out. And can I also thank, I have the opportunity at Conservative Home for all the work that you and your team have done in terms of putting this reception together for us. Now, for some of you, you probably have come across the YMCA, maybe you've got one in your town or city where you live, or you've used one of our services. But let's be honest, most of you, when I say YMCA, think of a song, a dance, too many beers at a family wedding or something. And that's fine because, you know, every day we thank the village people for their contribution to our brand and marketing strategy. That's just the way it is. But the YMCA is more than just a song. It is the world's oldest and largest youth charity. We were founded in London in 1844. There was a Whig Prime Minister then. And today we work with some 64 million people in 120 countries around the globe. Here in England and Wales, there's 83 YMCAs, serving around 700 communities. We serve all of those needs and support at the same time some 572,000 young people. Our combined annual turnover each year is around £220 million. And whilst our services are very diverse, depending on which YMCA you're at, we kind of do around 5 key work areas. So on family and youth work, that would include things like our 130 nurseries, which delivers around 21,000 early years provision places, whilst our 79 youth centres provide youth programmes and opportunities for around 42,000 young people. On health and wellbeing, we provide a number of universal and bespoke programmes, like our gyms, exercise classes, sports facilities. We have about 212,000 members of our gyms and our clubs around the country. In housing, we provide just over 8,800 beds every night to those young people who need it. We are the largest voluntary sector provider of supported housing across England and Wales, providing different types of accommodation, ranging from emergency accommodation for rough sleeping through to independent move-on accommodation. And through our support and advice services, we support around 72,000 young people each year. Biggest demand at the moment, as it would not surprise you, is for our mental health services and our counselling programmes, but we also give support and advice for those on employment and careers advice, drug and alcohol counselling, sexual health advice, to name just a few. And finally, under education and training, we support around 28,500 young people to effectively find work, to get apprenticeships, to gain the right skills and qualifications, and to set them up basically for working life. There's a lot that YMCAs do, and I'm told there's even a YMCA in Wales where you can plan your funeral with them. We generally, it's a historical anomaly, but it's just just shows how much we are in every community and for all ages. So the YMCA for some people is just a place to go and do the gym, play football, just be part of the community. Whereas for others, it's when they've reached a difficulty in their lives, they need that bit of support to get their life back on track. And we're very proud that all of our services and recognise that our individuals are different and that the support we give them will be different depending on their specific needs. And we recognise that helping to resolve some of these issues cannot be done in isolation. You have to take a holistic approach to this. Helping a young person into work cannot be sustained unless they're living somewhere safe, if they have the right skills to be able to flourish in their job, and also being fit and well, both physically and mentally, to be able to do so. So we take that holistic approach, and it's really in that vein that we came up with our Building Young Britannia, a guide to levelling up Britain. It basically sets out the building blocks, the positive building blocks that we think can create communities where young people feel valued, included, highly skilled, confident, and as part of that community feel they can actually truly belong, contribute and thrive. So thank you for listening, but I want to introduce you to Matt. Matt Sewell is, we have a YMCA Youth Ambassador Programme, which is where we take young people who are staff or users of our service, and we introduce them with many skills. But one of the things is we want them to come to party conference, to understand, be part of the political system, to be able to say their voice and speak about their own experiences. Matt is a social worker at YMCA Derbyshire, and I'd like to invite him to come and speak to you. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Jason, for that warm introduction. Again, my name is Matt Sewell. I work for YMCA Derbyshire as a children's social worker and as a housing navigator. It's a posh job for a social worker, a posh name for a support worker, sorry. I'm also, as Jason said, a youth ambassador for England and Wales YMCA, which means I get the lovely opportunity of speaking to many people like yourselves. Normally, it's within community centres and I get a lot more heckling. At YMCA Derbyshire, I work with 16 to 25-year-olds, supporting them to meet their basic needs. I essentially act as their parent. Through this, I hope that I raise independent, confident, and contributing adults. A number of young people that I work with are children looked after, unaccompanied asylum-seeking children, and young people with complex needs and historic trauma. At YMCA Derbyshire, we pride ourselves in being at one with community, constantly adapting to the needs around us, whilst ensuring we remain sustainable in our delivery. Due to this, we offer such things as mental health services, community programs, one-to-one therapy sessions. We offer community allotments, community meals, holiday hunger programs, after-school clubs, holiday clubs, and 600 units of accommodation. In Derby itself, we are the second biggest landlord after the City Council, with another 60 affordable accommodation units coming online thanks to Derby Homes and Homes England next year. We also run a vocational college. We have our own college, we have nurseries, as well as offering free, discreet unit for those fleeing modern-day slavery and also those who are fleeing domestic violence. We also refuse to see families in B&Bs, so we will take them on as well. We are truly a cradle-to-grave support system. I would like to say how grateful I am to be here today, to share with you what I do and what we do on a local level as well as a national level. What I want to do is I want to share a story about one of my young people. And for their sake, I'm going to keep it confidential and just call them our residents. However, I am very proud of them. This young person came to us at 19 after being kicked out of his family home after yet another argument with his father and stepmother. He was made homeless that night. He had nowhere to go and felt like no one cared about him. What a horrible way to live. He would often find friends' sofas to sleep on, sleep in their sheds, sleep in their garages, if lucky. If not, he would sleep on cold concrete floors of car parks and business doorways, as many of you have obviously seen within our streets today. He was one of those numbers. After 6 months of living this way, he finally decided to follow the village people advice and come down to the YMCA. He came to us hungry, dishevelled, and lost. He felt angry at the world. He felt like no one cared about him, and why should he ever care about anyone else? In fact, I spoke to them last week, and he can remember in minute detail about his first night at the YMCA. He slept, and slept, and slept, to a point that our staff had to go up and check that he didn't abandon his room. He was fast asleep for 2 days, with only getting up to the toilet and getting a glass of water and went back to sleep. He said to me he felt safe. That word safe we can take for granted. We've all got lovely homes to go to. This man didn't for at least 6 months. Fast forward 2 years to today, and I'm very proud of them. He's completed college where he studied agriculture. He got a triple distinction, absolutely smashed it. Also, he got his Maths in English, which he never got before. He finally got a job with a local company called Crawdon's, and it's a demolitions company. And someone that used to be angry at the world, demolishing a bit of it, is a little victory for him. He was given a part-time job there, 3 days a week, but after only 6 weeks, because of his determination, his grit, and his positive attitude, he was offered a full-time position. So what I did was, I asked this resident, name 3 things the YMCA did that helped you get to where you were today. And without batting an eyelid, what he said was mental health support. It was a safe, inclusive space, and also the connections he had to his now employer, Crawdon's. So let's break that down for a second. Mental health. I'm sure we're all bored of hearing about it, but it's a hot topic at the moment, especially around children and young people. It is a constant issue that we face on the ground level. I work in their living room 24/7. I've got 86 residents, and mental health is a consistent problem. And as it can be easily shown in our safeguarding data. Like this young person, they may present to us feeling hopeless and homeless, that no one cares for them. And what we do is put the best sort of mental health support together for them. So what's the answer? Well, isn't that the million-dollar question that we've all been trying to work out for many a year? Well, there's no easy answer. But at YMCA Derbyshire, we do our best to keep young people safe and offer them opportunities such as we've got our own independent on-site psychologist who offers weekly sessions because we saw the mental health was stretched, so we had to bring in someone to do it ourselves. As well as that, we act as a safety net. When all the world feels away from them, we lift them back up. We have also recently created our own mental health first aid kits with the 3 main focuses in mind of distraction, support, and traditional first aid. And we offer that to every single resident, whether they show signs of completing suicide or self-harm. We want to make sure we are preventative over reactive. Let me go on to the next point. Building a safe, non-judgmental place. We have residents come to us from all different backgrounds, cultures, upbringings, and experiences, which is a daunting idea when you're trying to create a one-size-fits-all economy and business. It just doesn't work. So what we do is we do person-centered, holistic work. We let them set the goals. We let them be the experts in their experience. And at the end of the day, we do not shame them for what they have had to do in the past. Yes, they may have been drug users. Yes, they may have been alcoholics. Yes, they may have done many a thing that many of us won't even dream of. But at the end of the day, they are human, and they've made the first step in the right direction. They have come to the YMCA. They have shown that they want to make a change, and just this little glimmer of hope, this little grit of determination we can see inside of them is all we need to begin our work. And last but certainly not least, the idea of opportunity. As this young person said, he would not be where he was without Crawdon's. This Crawdon's opportunity turned this young man's life around. And at YMCA, we work really hard with a number of established connections, such as Bombardier, Rolls-Royce, just to name a few. And through Marketing Derby and the Chamber of Commerce, we truly believe that our connections are the most important thing. Young people are worth it. Even if they don't seem to offer anything, they will always be willing to do whatever they can. They'll work hard, they'll show commitment, they'll turn up even when it's pouring it down with rain. And that attitude will always impress an employer as far as I'm concerned. Although I've mainly spoken to you tonight about the young people that I personally see at the YMCA, young people in several communities and across the nation are very similar. They just want to prove themselves. They want to be productive and positive members of society, and they want to give back to a community that truly supports them. They want to improve their life chances. So I'll leave you with this. Out of everything that I've spoken to you tonight about, I will ask you 2 questions, and please go away and just have a think. Where are you today because of opportunity? And how can I give an opportunity to the next generation? Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Matt, and thank you, Jason, for that fascinating insight into what the YMCA does. And the historical parallels are absolutely fascinating. Who would have probably beyond the Whigs' wildest dreams when they presided over the foundation of the YMCA so many years ago that they'd be back in Downing Street in 2022. It is with great pleasure that to play us out, I introduce you to Deanna Davis.
Thank you, Henry. And I just want to take a moment to thank Matt for his incredible contribution there. And also to say what an incredible story about that resident and how through the YMCA they managed to really turn their life and their prospects around. And that, for me, is really, in a nutshell, what levelling up is all about, isn't it? It's about making sure that people, wherever they're from, whatever backgrounds they've had, whatever upbringing, whatever challenges they've faced, they're able to get on in life. I'm looking at ways that as government we can try and help deliver that, and believe me, it is a big job, but we're very much focused on it. It's very much at the heart of what government's doing. But really, we can only do that if we are working with civil society, with organisations like the YMCA to make sure that we are offering that whole holistic package of support. Make sure we're getting the law right, we're getting the legislation right, we're getting the regulation right, we're getting the jobs market right, we're getting the housing market right, which we know is a huge challenge. But also that there is that additional support in place which the YMCA do and have provided for such an incredibly long period of time. And I'm delighted to be back talking at a YMCA Young Britannia event as I was last year. There we go. So we have one fan, I'll take it. We have 2 fans. I just think this is such an important challenge, as Henry alluded to earlier. Not just morally, we need to make sure that our young people have the best possible chances to get on in life, but politically, for the Conservative Party, this is a huge issue. I am sick of seeing the left take over that youth vote. As a party, we have got so much to offer, and we need to get better at getting our policy right for young people. We need to get better at selling our policies to young people, and we need to get better more broadly at communicating with young people. So I will leave it there, just to say I'm really looking forward in my new ministerial role to working with the YMCA to see kind of what I can do and what our department can do to make sure we are levelling up the life chances of young people. And we're just about done at conference, so I hope you've all had a fantastic one and hope to see many more of you next year. Thank you very much. Carry on.